Hi everybody, I hope you're having a great day. In this video, I'm going to be covering Monster Girl. She made her first appearance in Invincible, issue number 9, that was released in February of 2004. Her real name is Amanda, and she was originally just a human female that stands about 5 feet 9 inches tall and weighs 135 pounds, having blue eyes and brown hair. Although when she's in her troll-like monster form, she's at most stood 12 feet tall and weighed 2,800 pounds, having white eyes and no hair, yet being covered with green skin. Oh, and her troll form is actually an anatomically correct male, which solidifies the fact that she goes through a major transformation. As a human, she has no discernible superpowers, but in her troll form, she has vast superhuman strength, durability, and stamina, having strength levels that are rarely tested, being approximately the same strength as a Viltrumite youth, and being immune to most all conventional forms of attack, typically not taking damage unless it's from a rare occasion where she encounters a being that's stronger than her. But if she is injured, she does have a moderate healing factor in this monster form. The only true weakness that Monster Girl has is that despite her getting larger and stronger with each use of this transformation, her human form actually gets younger each time. And so she had eventually gotten to the point that although her mind was 29 years old, she had the physical appearance of a 12-year-old girl, which would stress her for many, many years. Now, as a teenager, Amanda was a bright honor student that was afforded the opportunity to attend a school that was primarily for rich children. She was so smart that she was actually slated to graduate early, but her bright future was derailed after she took a class trip to Europe. There, she fell into a whirlwind relationship with a Romani young man. But unfortunately, the boy's grandmother, who happened to be a master of magic, did not approve of this relationship, and she would put a curse upon Amanda. And although initially it seemed as if it had no effect, on the flight back home, Amanda became ill and would find herself curled up in the airplane washroom, uncontrollably changing into this troll. This only lasted for a few seconds, but it terrified her. Nevertheless, she would go on to learn how to transform herself at will, then using this massive power to perform heroics. Monster Girl was born, and despite becoming a local hero, she would eventually start to notice something strange happening to her human body. To her disappointment, she finally understood that the cost of her powers was her de-aging every time she used them. Although, as I stated earlier, her troll form would get larger and stronger each time. This new hero was stuck in a catch-22. She would try to minimize the use of her powers, but crises would always seem to arise. And this would eventually lead to her becoming depressed, and she just started recklessly using her powers regardless. She would eventually join the new Guardians of the Globe team, quickly becoming arguably the strongest member among them. And lucky for her, the genius named Robot would take a liking to her, committing to help her solve this unusual situation. It would take many years and a range of different ideas to finally come to a good solution. Temporarily donning a suit of armor, which came to an end during their fight against Omnipotus, and even her briefly controlling a drone that Robot made, which she never really got the hang of. Fortunately, Robot would finally come up with a final solution, giving Amanda an anti-reverse aging belt that monitored and regulated her genetic structure and repaired the flaws that the curse induced when she changed. Although this would also put a cap on the overall size and strength of her troll form. From this point, Amanda would play a major role in various adventures with the Guardians of the Globe, being key in the Invincible War and various other conflicts. She would even have an approximately 700-year period that she and Rex would be trapped in the Flaxxan Empire's dimension, following a Flaxxan attack on Earth. After the two were trapped there behind a closing portal, they realized that for some reason they aged much slower there. And funny enough, over the equivalent centuries they spent there, they would actually lead a rebellion, which led to the overthrow of the oppressive Flaxxan nobility, and she would also, interestingly during this period, sire a hybrid son with a ruling class Flaxxan female, who himself would eventually rise to become the emperor of the Flaxxan Empire after Amanda and Rex abandoned that dimension. That would lead to a major conflict with her powerful son in the future. Yet the struggle itself would also help solidify the bond between Amanda and Rex. Now, for her powers and abilities and her influence on the Image Comics universe, for my 1 to 10 rating, I'll give Monster Girl a rating of 9, which is an epic rating. I hope everyone enjoyed this video. I'll talk to you next time. Be sure to like, subscribe, and join the new Sage.